we're going to start things off with sort of a somber sports topic, but I think it also is a great time to reflect on this specific athlete, gentleman, ambassador of the game of baseball. We lost Hank Aaron recently, and a lot of people across the sports world, because he's an older guy, it was tough to hear, but also we can reflect on the life and the career and all the great things that Hank Aaron did for the game of baseball, for the United States, and across the world, because this guy is a legend and did a lot of great things for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head right there, Pat, with calling him a legend. And that's what I've been saying, like, rest in peace to an American legend, and especially an American legend in the game of baseball. And I think he actually played when baseball truly was the pastime of America and really was the sport that was highlighted in our nation. And he was truly a bright star, a shining star. Like you said, what a gentleman, what a player. Went through so much in his career, and I even got to educate myself a little bit more on what he went through, especially in his early years of racism and having to deal with racism on and off the field, and how he really just handled it like a gentleman. And I know there's a lot of talk about how Jackie Robinson handled racism and really helped break the barrier, but I think Hank Aaron doesn't get enough credit for that as well, and I really think he deserves a lot of it. And realistically, I think he is the home run king. He is the home run king. These guys that, ended up breaking his record obviously did it with steroids and in the era of steroids. So this guy really is the home run king in my eyes, one of the greatest players ever to live. And I know a lot of people are thinking the same thing this week, and it's really sad to see him go. Lived such a great life, though, and really it was one of those things where obviously legends never die. And we'll continue talking about him forever. And especially if you're a baseball fan, that's going to be a name that'll just be on your tongue for as long as we live. And I think one of the greatest things that I've seen, especially stats-wise, was if you took away every single one of his home runs, he would still have over 3,000 hits. And, I mean, that's an all-time mark in baseball that most hitters will never achieve. And this guy still did it, even if you take away all of his home runs. So I think that just proves of how great of a player he was, and baseball's really going to miss him.
Yeah, I mean, his career was unbelievable. Played till he was 42. He's basically the Tom Brady of Major League Baseball. But some of those other guys played in the latter stages of their career as well, including Willie Mays. But, Hank Aaron, obviously, he's the home run king with the 755 home runs. He's the last guy. Everybody thinks now whoever – could get a chance to break that record after Bonds did it. There's always going to be suspicion of steroids. I just think there is for now until eternity, because, these things are getting so much more sophisticated with how players are getting away with it, how, the companies that are developing these performance-enhancing drugs are masking agents and things like that, where Hank Aaron, you knew that there was nothing there except just talent, work ethic, and just – he was an unbelievable player. And I think he's sometimes, now that the home run chase is over and Bonds has gotten there, and even though people still believe Hank Aaron's a home run champ, he still kind of gets lost in history with the fact that, Babe Ruth is this mythical figure. That guy, you talk about top, 5 athletes ever. He seems to always kind of be in the discussion. And I think it's because of his legend. He's been gone for so long, but just he was larger than life. Then you have Willie Mays, who a lot of people think is probably the best all-around baseball player ever because of the way he could play the field, along with how great of a hitter he was. And now you have modern guys. People are talking about Mike Trout being in the top 5 all time. I loved watching Ken Griffey Jr. when he was around. But Hank Aaron was probably the most consistent. He won 3 Gold Gloves of his own, and he finished his career with an OPS of 928. And that includes his last 2 seasons where his OPS was below 700. You take those 2 seasons out, that OPS is going to shoot up even more. So the guy had an amazing career. But, you think of Hank Aaron, and I think you think of class. The guy, nobody ever said a bad word about him. I don't remember him ever being on a TV screen or a picture where he didn't have a smile across his face. And even when he broke the Babe Ruth home run record, he's rounding second base, and there's 2 fans that come out of the stands, and everybody in the stadium is freaking out because they weren't sure if they were, there's been attacks on sports arenas before where fans come out of the stands and attack somebody. Just look at tennis with what happened to was it Monica Seles or somebody like that?
Yes.
So people were freaking out, but those people just wanted to run with Hank Aaron because he was such a beloved player. And he took it in stride. He just kind of was shaking their hands. He had a smile on his face. It's just typical Hank Aaron, and it's terrible that he's gone. But I almost think sometimes when these kind of legends pass away, their legend grows. And I'm sure we'll have a great Hank Aaron documentary that'll be produced soon. And it stinks that he's gone, but I think we're going to appreciate him a little bit more now that he's gone.
Yeah, I think that moment that you're talking about where he breaks the record there and those guys running around, I mean, we see that moment a lot, especially in his career. It's highlighted, and I think that is really the moment that sticks out the most, especially for me. And I know I just was watching it the other day, and they highlighted how his parents were there, and his parents were there to greet him once he got to home base with the whole mob of crowd that was also there. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that he does get lost in the mix with guys like Babe Ruth, because arguably he's better than Babe Ruth. I think just people just might not actually see that. I mean, if you're a true baseball fan and you even look at the stats, I'd rather have Hank Aaron on my team than Babe Ruth any day.